Welcome to Xtalks Clinical Edge, our digital magazine where industry leaders, patient advocates, and top researchers converge to bring you the sharpest insights in clinical trials. In this featured interview, we're speaking with Wendy Erler, Vice President, Global Head of Patient Experience, Patient Advocacy, and Patient and Caregiver Insights at Alexion. Throughout the interview, we'll delve into the pivotal role of patient centricity in advancing treatments for rare diseases. Can you describe your role at Alexion and how it specifically impacts the rare disease community?
I have the distinct privilege to lead the patient experience team. And we were really thoughtful about how we describe this team and the work we do, being focused on creating a better experience for rare disease patients by working really hard to listen and learn from the rare disease patient communities with whom we engage, but also bringing in dedicated capability to lead this opportunity to engage. So within the patient experience team, we have patient advocacy leaders based in critical countries around the globe. We have a full team dedicated to understanding and delivering on patient insights. So we actually listen and learn from our patient communities and then do something with what we hear. And we've also built in a mechanism to be able to report back. We learned this from you and we did this with this insight. And then we have another part of my team within the function where we are founded on creating an exquisite experience for everyone we engage with. And that was what we set out to do. How do we make this experience exquisite? We don't get it right every single time, but we are committed to trying to deliver on that goal. So that's the patient experience team. And one of the other ways that I describe it is you're really organized to deliver the results you get. And we knew we needed to be organized with strategic capability to be able to fulfill our promise of patient centricity.
From your perspective, what are the most significant insights gained about rare diseases in recent years?
It's safe to say that things are moving in the right direction for rare disease, patient engagement, and patient centricity. Frameworks are being built by regulators that are requiring industry sponsors to actually seek patient insights early in development and be able to come back and say, this is what's important to the community. We're not there yet completely. Rare diseases generally are often not well understood compared to more common diseases. There are very low numbers of people living with each of these conditions, which makes it hard to execute research in a fast and scalable way. Patients are often located in very disparate parts of the world. There are few experts treating these conditions. And for many rare diseases, established endpoints or truly defined clinical measures don't exist. Natural history registries may be very nascent in their development. So what's happened in the last few years is patient communities themselves have really galvanized around driving change and demanding a seat at the table to be heard early and to be part of that early engagement to drive the design and path of clinical research. That's, to me, the biggest game changer in how can those insights really determine the work that we do to accelerate diagnosis and drug development in rare disease. It's pretty powerful when you have a chance to engage with these rare disease leaders and patient advocacy who are adamant that they be included. And the old kind of rhetoric and thinking around, we don't want to engage too early and overpromise, and what does this mean, is not acceptable anymore. Patients really expect to have a seat at the table and be consulted. And most importantly, they're able really to drive efficiency and expediency in research, which ultimately serves everybody better.
How do these insights shape Alexion's approach to research and development?
We have done a lot of work at AstraZeneca in the Alexion rare disease part of our company to be very thoughtful about when, where, how, and why, and what insights we gather So we've actually put frameworks and methodologies in place so that we're all working under the same umbrella of patient centricity and patient-driven clinical research within our organization. One of our expectations is that we have patient input into 100% of our protocol concepts. That sounds really simple, and a lot of people talk about patient engagement early and in clinical trial design, but we've actually established a metric so that our teams that are designing and writing these protocols understand and seek out insights early and then throughout the drug development process, all the way to market access on the other end. It's also really important to us that we do this in the right way, and that's the how. And we're very much focused on establishing trust, building long-term relationships, and ensuring that we're engaging in an authentic, transparent way, not transactional, but really looking at patients as partners. And our definition of patient centricity is rooted in this concept of truly and meaningfully partnering with patient communities.
Could you elaborate on how Alexion's patient-centric approach influences its R&D strategy for rare diseases?
Within rare diseases, one of the biggest learnings over the last couple of years is there are over 10,000 known rare diseases. And within that, there are very few treatments. Most of these conditions are genetic. There are a lot of nuances to researching in rare disease that really come down to these, very individual patient communities and specifics to their condition. So within our patient-centric ambition, we really do take the time to pause and stop and listen and learn from the communities. What do they already know? What registries have they built? What natural history studies have been done? What endpoints are important to them? And with those data in hand, that then influences how we think about the drug development process and clinical trials specifically. We also really do understand that as a whole, rare disease research, it provides the opportunity to learn across communities. So what we learn from a specific rare neuromuscular study can apply to a later study in a different neuromuscular disease. So we really try to look at what are those analogies across conditions and what have we learned and how do we apply that. Within rare disease research, the one commonality and the constant thing that drives all of us at Alexion, AstraZeneca, is the deep commitment to listening and learning from those who are living with the condition and their caregivers. Often the insights are very nuanced in a very specific experience that these communities are having. So it's not something you might see in literature or in a data report or in a genomics analysis, but what you're really hearing from the people living with the condition. And when you add all of those data together, it's a far more full picture, robust way to then plan out what needs to happen in the clinical trial that's most representative of the entire community at large.
Can you share any particular success stories that highlight Alexion's impact on the rare disease community?
I'm really proud of the work that we do at Alexion and AstraZeneca in rare diseases for several reasons, but not the least of which is we really are impacting very small communities comparatively. And when we look at some of the areas that we've worked that are ultra rare disease, we've been committed from the founding of the company to advancing scientific research, disease understanding, and bringing access to medicines. The really important thing that's happened now as being part of AstraZeneca is we are able to expand our bold ambition to serve patients across many more parts of the world than we have been in the past. We're very committed to really thinking about rare disease communities as a whole and the need for a true focus and attention on health equity as part of everything that we do every day. So we know that serving patients across more parts of the world looks different in each geography? And how do we collectively, as a rare disease community, come together to ensure that all rare disease patients have access to the healthcare they deserve?
For more clinical content like this interview, be sure to keep exploring Xtalks Clinical Edge.